choose not to. Absolutely. And I want to let everyone know who's watching, if you do have a girl who says, yeah, I'll be in a polygamous relationship because I like girls too. I don't need another guy, I like girls. That is not what you want, because there's a triangle that exists in the
Hey, where's the gang? Lock in, lock in. We're going on live, and what a wonderful way to end the year. You end the year with energy. If you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ikukole, and here's the live sessions of 200 push-ups daily challenge. Okay, about about 1 week ago, I gave a commitment to myself to do at least 200 push-ups daily, and this is for at least the next 90 days. But the whole intention is that it's going to just become part of the lifestyle, like every single day, at least. The idea is at least 200 push-ups, because so far I go beyond that. When I just started, I was trying to hit the 200 mark. Yeah, I have to admit that. But after the fifth day, I just realized that, you could go and do more than that daily. So if you're just tuning in, or maybe you're just exercising at the moment, maybe you could join me. All right, great. All right, so no one is here yet, so what I'll do is I would go do another set, and I'll be right back. Yeah, another set locked in. Yeah, so before I started this challenge, I was like, I'll look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, nah, I don't like what I see. My face was just getting puffy in so many places for nothing. I had some stupid belly fat, right? You know, and I'm glad to say that at least with all the strategies I've put in place, that stubborn belly fat is gone. So that's it. Welcome if you're just joining in. We're on our 200 daily push-up challenge. Okay, so I decided to share my live sessions, live workout sessions. I've actually hit the 200 target already, and I'm just doing my additional sets. Okay, you're welcome. Feel free to ask me any questions. So you can ask me anything. So that's it. Every now and then I might probably leave just for a few seconds or so, just to go complete another set of push-ups and jump right back in. Maybe, I don't know where you're joining from, but maybe you're in your workout session, I don't know. So that is the whole thing. Let's see. All right. Okay. So, so I was saying that one of the reasons why I put myself through this challenge, the first thing was just the way I looked. After a while, I would look at myself and I was like, my face was just puffy in some kind of places. And I must admit, I was really into. Here's what most of my meals look like. It was mainly just the pasta, right? Spaghetti, rice. I had a very busy lifestyle during that time too. I was doing some remote work. It required me to start work at 2 p.m. our time here, right up to 10 p.m. our time in Cameroon, which was the equivalent of 8 a.m. that way. Okay, there was some job that was a remote job, and this company was in Canada and everything. So what I would do was, yeah, it's true I had a day to myself, but I found out that when I wake up in the morning, I just want to get prepared and get set, prepare my equipment, and there was very little time. So those kind of meals were the quick meals to have. So I picked up some very bad habits in the long run, you know. And I realized that the more I was on that diet, the more I wanted sugar. The next thing was, apart from those meals, then I got hooked up onto tea, right? And it was a very cold season, that period. A lot of rain and everything. You know how Boya could be. So that's around July, right? So I started off with the tea also. And I realized then that, I had been avoiding sugar. I'd been avoiding sugar. I'm one of those persons who had stayed away from sugar. Like there was a time, like back then when I was in med school, I decided that I wouldn't buy and keep any sugar at home. You see, that was kind of my principles. Like if I stepped out and maybe ate something that was sugary or had sugar in it, no problem. But no sugar in my house. You see, so this tea was an excuse. What I didn't know was that the tea was going to be an excuse for me to start plugging in back to the sugar. So I realized that it wasn't so much about the warm. Yes, I wanted to have a warm drink. It's cold. But I realized that it was the sugar that I'm after. Like I started off with putting up a little bit of sugar in the tea. And then after a while, I started adding and adding and adding. And I'll have more than like several drinks. I'll have it in the morning. I'll have it also even in the evenings also. So I just didn't like the way my body was looking, man. I just had this puffiness in my face. When I look at my face now, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense now. The cheeks, at least, the cheekbones beginning to start to show, at least, you see. And that was just the whole thing. Even my chest. What I regret doing was I didn't take enough before pictures, but I think I have a few. This man boobs started coming up and everything, and I'm like, nah, it's not gonna keep up that way. Hi, Enith. I appreciate you joining in. You're one of also my inspirations because I'm like, this guy is working out he's with his son, and he has a ginger blast going. His hustle and his work. He's he's producing stuff. So shout out to you, man. And if I really do appreciate your work. And you're one of those persons, when I scroll through my feed and I see you and I'm like lazy on my couch, I'm like, nah, I have to wake up and do something. Yeah. So I just decided to share my, I'm on a 200-day challenge, 200 push-ups daily challenge, okay? Even though the more I do it, I'm on day 8 now. And I realize that the 200 mark is even small, and I need to double on that. But the truth is, from day 5, I've actually been going beyond that number. And I'm trying to bring in more variations to these push-ups, okay? I think I might start some Mike Tyson push-ups as well. And keep it going from there. And what I also love about this challenge is that it's the mental thing, what it does to the mind. Like when you wake up in the morning, you know that there's something that you have to accomplish, and once you hit that goal, it keeps you going, and pushes you to like hit other goals, like and that's kind of the thing, you see. So that's it. I'll do some other sets and I'll be right back. Yeah, so I just did me some black Superman short range push-ups. Um, Shout out to Ish, the black Superman. I stumbled on his short range push-ups. I know most persons when they see it, they're like, nah, that's a cheat. You're cheating when you're doing that kind of push-ups. Like, it's not the full range thing, so it can't be that effective, But I can already realize that, it has a way of quickly bringing results, like, on that chest workout and everything. That was one of the reasons why, I even started all these things in the first place, because I just didn't want those man boobs, man. I hate man boobs. I hate them like crazy. Like when you put on that t-shirt and like, you see these eyes, you're just looking at you and you're like, in some awkward way, you just know that there's something off about you, man. So, and when I was scrolling through my Instagram feed, I stumbled on Ish, the black Superman, and he was like talking about the short range, Eventually I'm going to vary, of course, but I really like the results that I see so far, like, and it's really encouraging. Why calisthenics? And I think I was I was a lot attracted to calisthenics back then. That was back in 2000s, the year 2000 or so. I was like 16, and I couldn't afford a gym membership. I don't think there were no dumbbells at home, no equipment of the sort. Even though later on I stumbled on this spring, how did you call it again? This thing that has a spring in between. You can fit in your hands and your legs, your feet, and then you could pull it upwards, That was later on. But then the idea that you could just be in your bedroom, and you just push on your body weight and get results, for me, that was like, pfft. So therefore, the only thing required here is this discipline, And even when you're in the gym, people could go to the gym and you just watch others working out. You know what I'm saying? But I realized that, with calisthenics, it takes your mind. It really does that. It really works your mind out as well. I'm not saying that when you're in the gym and you have the equipment that it doesn't do that as well. You need mental stamina as well to be able to complete those reps and sets, and all of supersets and all of that. Yeah, agreed. But for me, the appealing thing is the idea that you could go from absolutely nothing but your body weight, and you can rise from there to distinction. Wow, that blew my mind. Like, I told myself, Emmanuel, could you have just some discipline, use your body weight, and be able to just make some small changes here and there, on your body and also on your mind? I'm like, yeah, you can do it. So, and plus it's cost effective. Like, you're a young guy, you can't afford any of that stuff. You have some rocks around your neighborhood, bottles and gallons and stuff, bags of sand. I mean, you could really start working using that. So that's the whole thing. And that's why I came up lately. There was this term that just came up to me, was the term JailBody. And I get a lot of inspiration from prison inmates, right? And the workouts, like why are they always so jacked? Like, man. And I learned that more and more they're not having access to weights and all of those kind of equipment and stuff. Reason being that they could use it to injure each other with, So therefore, we know that a lot of their jacked up physique relies on them working out and using your body weight. So think about that, man. So those are the kind of things. So I'm like, and when I look at it in the deeper sense, a good number of us are probably locked up in some kind of jail or cell. Like, it could be your office. Your office could be some kind of jail where you're required to be there like as early as 7 a.m., and you're locked in there. Hey, salute, hi Charles, man, welcome. So like I was saying, in a sense, a good number of us are somehow in our cells while in jail, because you could be in the four walls of your office, and you step in there at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and you're only out there when the sun is down. And all you have in your mind is to have some food, and you probably go to bed, you see, and then you press repeat. So how do you break that? How do you come out of jail? So that's how I took that concept of the jail body, into many other aspects of our lives. When I was in med school, for instance, I started off a workout routine for myself, but I realized that with the schedule at school and hospital, it was worse when I was in year 4, because you would, in the morning at 8 a.m., you're required to go to a hospital, where you're assigned to work. You'd be there from 8 a.m. and probably till around 1 p.m. or so. And from 1 p.m. then I'll be rushing back to class, okay? And believe you me, that classroom wasn't just like a walk away from the hospital. You have to take another cab and go an hour away, or 30 minutes back into class. And then sometimes after class, you were required then to go back to the hospital if you were on night duty. So, and then you wake up. What am I saying? You didn't even have to wake up most of the time, because you're on night duty, night shift at the hospital, and then morning meets you there in the hospital, and then sometimes you didn't have the chance even to go have a shower, okay, and come back, because some of those health facilities, most of them, even by the way, they didn't have, you didn't have a locker room or something like that to even have a shower. So you can imagine being in that same shirt you wore the previous day to the hospital, went to the classroom, and then came on night shift, and then you have to then spend that day again, in the hospital, and on and on and on. So it was very difficult. So that's a jail kind of situation, because you're sitting in that doctor's room, and you can watch. You saw the sun rise, and then you saw the same sunset, on you, and that's it. That's a jail situation, man. You're just glorified inmates in one way or the other. There's this. I just remember this girl. Her name is what? Asha. I don't remember what she's saying in her song. You're a jailer, but no, I'm in jail, but you're something like you're also in jail too, something like that. Yeah. So that's it. That was just kind of my inspiration. I just thought that this daily push-up thing was a kind of fantastic way of giving myself momentum into the following year, into 2025, and nothing better than driving that momentum up and then moving on to the new year with a new body and a new mind. I'll have to go do another set. I'll be right back. So that's kind of what it has been for me. And by the way, nothing more confident than a man who is comfortable in his skin and his body. He trusts his chest, his deltoids, and his frame. And there's no telling what it does to the mindset. Another thing that I realized plugging into these push-ups was is your posture. When I compare what was becoming of me, because then I was doing this remote work, right? And you know that this kind of jobs require you to be seated like for long hours. So that must do something to your posture in the long run. So I just realized that when I'm walking, this was like months back, 3-4 months back, you know, I was always like finding myself consciously or subconsciously trying to like redress my back because I began to slouch, you know. I realized I was walking with some kind of slouching. So several times in the course of the day, I would find myself like trying to like snap myself back up, you know, remember to, you know, to stand upright, you know. And I realized that then with this, you know, with this regular push-ups and exercise in general, because it's not just the push-ups though, because you have the lower body also, I just realized that naturally I have a better stance now. Like I have a better kind of hold, okay, you can call it that way, better hold on my body now, you know. And just when you walk that way, you know, it really says that you mean business right here. I remember back then, again, this jail concept has always like, and it was always entangled with the military concept kind of thing. I was always like drawn to military or military school and stuff like that. I remember like even in my fourth year of medicine, I had some of my mates who actually who sat in for the exam to move into military school, so that way they could become military doctors, you know. By the way, one of them right now is even working at the presidency and stuff like that. So and it was always appealing to me, and what appealed to me was more again the discipline and stuff. Like if you saw like a guy who, I'm talking about the guys who are really fit, because not everybody in there, but then if you saw a typical guy who's in the military walk into a bar or some kind of, you know, a bar or some kind of place like that, there's something about the way that he even just stands, right? It commands respect, right? And I just remember there's this guy, Rom Wheels. Yeah, I follow him on YouTube, and he's one of those guys who promotes the body, what he calls body game a lot. I learned a lot from him as well. I stumbled on him when I'd had a breakup back then, and when I was really, really into a real lover boy back then and didn't know anything about the whole game and stuff like that, you know. And when she left, I was like, damn, I got to work on my body, my mind, and everything. And I stumbled on his content. And he's fond of saying that you want to work your body and your mind in such a way that when persons look at you, this could be men or women, by the way, let them have the feeling that you're dangerous. Like you could the shit out of them. You know? That line, when I got that line, you know, it appealed to me. I was like, that sounds cool. Now imagine a guy who is soft-spoken, calm, but at the same time gives off the vibe of being dangerous. Like if I were this guy, he could hit the out of me, man. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing. And when I think it's even more about the energy, okay? Because I don't think you even need to be that buff or swole and all of that to give off that kind of energy. Like what my man Tito calls big D energy. It's primarily what you're saying about yourself. Like when you're walking into that room, it's what you're saying about yourself. You're comfortable in yourself, you're comfortable in your body, and you're giving that out to the world. And people can see that in your posture, they can see it in your gait as you walk through that room, you see. And they know not, in fact, it conditions their behavior and their attitude towards you as well. Okay? You're not a criminal. You're not here to come and, like, you're just doing your thing. So that's kind of the thing, guys. I'm kind of just giving myself this challenge also, and I'm using these lives, by the way, to practice because I realized I was so camera shy at one point. I've been making some videos before, and I just want to get comfortable using the camera, guys. So I appreciate you guys showing up here. Enith and Charles, this is encouraging. I feel encouraged to do even more. I hope, and I wish that you have the best of your day, and as we move on to 2025, that you get more productive and successful in whatever thing you're doing. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. No regrets. Let's get it.